This lesson is going to be on global warming and the greenhouse effect. So we're going to start with just global warming, which is an increase in the temperature of Earth's atmosphere. Now, global warming can happen naturally and it can happen also from people impacting it, and we'll take a look at the differences between those in a minute. The greenhouse effect is when the atmosphere gets warm from gases trapping heat, just like how the glass of a greenhouse traps heat. Now, if you take a look to the right at the picture, you can see from the sun we have these short waves coming in. Those are supposed to be ultraviolet radiation. And what happens is those end up reaching the ground or the vegetables or whatever there is in the atmosphere and on the ground. And once they reach something that they can get absorbed into, like the ground or like vegetables or trees, they then re-radiate a longer wavelength, which has lower energy. So look at those long wavelengths coming back out of the earth. These longer wavelengths don't have as much energy, so it's really hard for them to get back through the greenhouse glass. So some of them end up staying inside the greenhouse, and that's why it's so warm inside a greenhouse. Some of them are able to escape, but because some of them get trapped, it raises the general temperature or the overall temperature of the area. Now, the greenhouse effect is something that happens in the atmosphere, just like in this picture, where instead of glass acting as a barrier to trap some of the heat, we have certain gases that act as a barrier and trap some of the heat. Some of those really important and prominent gases are carbon dioxide, methane, even water vapor, like our clouds, can trap heat in the atmosphere. So if you take a look at energy and the greenhouse effect, these are the steps. So just to go through them one more time, we have visible and ultraviolet energy comes from the sun. Some energy is absorbed by the earth. This causes the waves to change to infrared energy. Infrared waves do not have as much energy, and these waves cannot pass through the gases, and they get stuck in the Earth's atmosphere. Just to look at a picture of how the natural greenhouse effect works and how a human-enhanced greenhouse effect works, the sun is going to emit solar radiation, solar meaning from the sun, as the root of solar is sol, like in Spanish, sun. What happens then is, if you look at the greenhouse gases, we have a lot more on the right, a lot more greenhouse gases, so a lot more heat gets trapped because we're putting these gases into the atmosphere. So if you can take a note, write one question or comment down at the bottom, and we'll do the next page where we're going to illustrate the greenhouse effect. We'll do that in class tomorrow. Have a good night.